Hey Aquarius, this is your general tarot reading for Aquarius, Sun, Moon and Rising Sign Ascendant for the month of April. Aquarius, how the heck are you doing? How are things going? Well, I hope they're going good, because there was a lovely energy in March and now for a little bit of April in the 9th house to do with foreign travel, foreign people, foreign cultures, higher education, higher wisdom, maybe becoming a tutor or a mentor for somebody. And that's exactly what you might have seen. And even as we enter April, that people might be looking to you for your good advice, your wise words, your wisdom. You may be asked to teach them something. Maybe you have a skill or something, and people will just want you to share all your wonderful wisdom with them through March and the start of April. You'll be like a wise counselor to somebody who needs your help. And it's a lovely energy as a bunch of cards just come out. A bunch of cards. Okay, so Aquarius, we start with this. Financial worries? Okay, we'll deal with that. We'll lay that down there. Actually, financial worries, we'll throw it down there, okay? The next one is the Page of Wands. Nice. Followed by the Ace of Swords. The Three of Cups, lovely card, good communication. The Ten of Swords, something's coming to an end, is it Aquarius? The Fool, something's coming to an end, but it seems to make you happy. You don't seem to mind, even though it's probably like you should mind. Financial worries, something coming to an end. Some of you maybe ending a job, ending a contract or so on like that. And while that should make anybody cry, it makes you feel free. And Aquarius loves to feel free. So yeah, foreign people and foreign cultures, foreign travel. Perhaps you've been spending March and a little bit into April communicating with somebody from another culture. And because there's a lot of activity in your 3rd house of short distance travels and communicating your ideas, where you're kept busy all the time, perhaps you have been called by somebody in another country to show them how to do something that you're very good at. I'm just trying to put pieces together here, Aquarius. You know how this stuff works. I'm just trying to tell you what the most likely events are for these energies. What else have we got going on? You know, Mercury is retrograde there until, what date is it? The 16th of April in your house of communications. So a few things could happen here. Your technology could just stop working. Your phone, your laptop, your camera, anything like that could just stop working. And you might have to go back and fix that, repair it, do some minor repairs on your technology. So it's a good idea to get a good antivirus software going on in your systems there, so that you don't have to go back and repair, fix it before it breaks, basically. And yeah, so you've been kept very busy with this house of communication. Your phone probably hasn't stopped ringing. And another thing I wanted to talk to you about too, that for those of you who write, maybe some of you are writing in a blog, or you have a web page where you update it regularly with information. Typically, Aquarius is always ahead of its time. So what you might find in April is that something that you might have written a long time ago on your website or something is now being brought back up for people to look at, and they'll say, I didn't see this the first time around. I like it. So it's a nice energy. Jupiter is still retrograding there in your 10th house, which makes me think that a lot of you are... A card just fell on the floor there, Aquarius. Hold on, I'll get this. The King of Cups. Nice card, actually, even though he fell on the floor. Well, I don't know what that was about. But even though with Jupiter retrograding in your 10th house, which is careers and dealing with authority figures, key figures up there, people that you may not look up to, because an Aquarius rarely looks up to anybody, but you at least recognize that they're key players in your life or in your career. And Jupiter, the great benefic, the expander, the benevolent one, is going into your career and pulling out a bunch of crap and exposing maybe areas in your career that were a bit shitty, really, and maybe just need to be cleaned up. For those of you who are self-employed, perhaps what Jupiter is trying to show you is that there are certain ways that you're doing whatever it is that you do, that you probably just need to tidy that up and maybe expect that you can do something better. You know, don't accept anything mediocre in your career anymore, or even in what you're creating or producing. No more mediocrity, Aquarius. It just will not work. You need quality, and to expand upon that quality. Saturn and Pluto in your 12th house, now they are going retrograde. Mars is in there with them too, adding not fuel to the fire, but rocket fuel to the fire. And Saturn going retrograde makes you even stronger and more determined to clear out any psychological baggage. Remember the video last month for March? Behavioral loops, psychological patterns that keep repeating. Now Saturn is going in, and he will say in April, no, I just can't stand or tolerate, you know, these negative things that are keeping me in a behavioral loop anymore. So it's like an extra emphasis on everything we talked about last month, Aquarius. Pluto going in there, transforming a lot of those deep and negative emotions that you might have been holding for a long time, the psychic cleansing that's happening. And for some of you in the month of April, you may be confronting the dark side. The what? The dark side? Aquarius is saying, I do not have a dark side. I am love and light, and I am shiny and happy. Aquarius, even you, my beautiful, has a dark side, and Pluto will be going in there, not because he's some asshole going in there to go boo, 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 and point at it, and he's going in there to say, you really need to pay attention to this. This is one of the big things that are keeping you trapped, baby. And like I said last month, just to repeat it all again, you don't trap an Aquarius. Aquarius must have their freedom. What else is going on there? So yeah, the Venus is still there in your 4th house. So perhaps home life and family life has been a bit more pleasurable for the month of March and going into April. Even if you're single, it's something about your family life and your home life will just be more pleasant. You'll get on better with those people that you would consider family. And you know what? Who do we consider family? I mean, we could say brothers, sisters, parents, grandparents, cousins, whatever. But for a lot of Aquarians, one thing I know that they very often treat their friends like family. A good friend to an Aquarius can often be worth more than all of their brothers and sisters put together, you know. So whoever it is that you consider family, you just have a very nice time with them. And you'll continue to do that for most of April. Neptune's still in there in your 2nd house of finances. So here's where I want to go with this. There is a big transformation happening, a big healing coming in April as Chiron, the wounded healer, leaves Pisces and enters Aries. And for you, it's going to be a really big healing of how you communicate, how you write, how you speak, how you relate to the world, the to and fro. It's just going to be healed. How would that pan out? You know, if you find that you're really nice on the inside and you're really sweet and gentle, like most Aquarians actually are, but the moment you open your mouth, you say something and people look at you and go, why did you say that? I mean, that's something Aquarius actually does in general. Aquarius can sometimes, with all the right intentions, just point at something and go, that's stupid, or that's something, and people go, where is your tact, Aquarius? Where did you came all dressed up, but you forgot your tact, you left it at home, you know. But that's going to be healed, because you don't mean to say anything hurtful, that's for sure. You're not a mean person, but sometimes the words you can say can offend other people without any intention of offense being behind it. So you might become more aware of that from this month onwards. But actually that kind of makes me a little bit sad, because one of the things I like most about Aquarius is that they do say these things. It's actually one of my favorite things about you, Aquarius. What have we going on? There's a new moon on the 15th of April. Again, in your third house of communications, the way you communicate something, even if it's online, through a blog, through something you're writing, if you're writing a book or a thesis or something, that you'll have new inspiration, new ideas, you'll feel more able to be authentic in whatever it is that you're trying to communicate. And perhaps for some of you, you might find a new career writing. You might find that a new door is opening in the area of communications, where a new opportunity to make money could actually be there, a new trade, business or skill in the whole arena of communications. Not bad. And the sun then goes into your fourth house on the 20th of April, joining Venus there. And what else have we got? No, the sun, yeah, that's right. So I'm getting to see communication. This is Mercury retrograde stuff. I've already started another video. The tripod stand on my camera broke. I'm already talking about communicating, and I'm even forgetting what it is I'm trying to communicate. But yeah, it's all about nice things still happening. The sun and Venus still in your family life, or whoever it is that you consider family, even if it's just your cats and your dogs. They're family too. Two cards coming out here. The King of Swords and then the Page of Pentacles. Just waiting on two more cards, Aquarius, then we're ready to go. There is Venus then on the 25th of April moving into your fifth house. Oh, too many cards, a bunch of them. I'll put them back and we'll wait for just a few. Into your fifth house of romance and pleasure and joy and play and everything that is of your heart's desire. You know, when you just open your heart and it's just like all these butterflies come out and you go, aha. It's that kind of energy where you just love what it is that you're doing, even if it's a creative project or just hanging out with somebody that you love or people that you love, that you'll just have such a great time. And for those of you who are looking for love, by the way, you might find it in a place of entertainment where there's a gig or a show or something fun happening. That's where you could find new love, as the Chariot just comes out there. And what else? What else? Some of you might be getting a new car. That's the very old traditional meaning of that card. I just like saying it sometimes because I never really get to say it. I always end up doing these card readings and talking about big, heavy life issues. It's never my intention actually to do that. It just happens that way. So when I see this card coming up, it's just my opportunity, because we're dealing with third house issues, which is about cars, travel and transport. Perhaps that's what you're doing. Finding a new mode of transport, even if it's just a bicycle. Or knowing you, Aquarius, it would be a unicycle. I'm just teasing. The full moon on April 29th is happening in your 10th house. And that is, again, a big insight into your career. There's great shake-ups happening in your career. And something is coming to an end. I don't know. I'm just getting the feeling for a great many of you Aquarians, either a contract in work is coming to an end, or you're leaving a job at the end of April and you're happy to leave it, or you're finalizing something in your career, closing off a project, finishing up with a group of people or with clients, ending a term in some thing in your career. So that could be very, 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 very nice. Perhaps even some of you could be just the boss, that finally the boss is leaving and you're being replaced with a new boss or a new manager, and you're going, finally. Okay, so we do have glass cards coming out here, and it is the Four of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles. So even though I'm talking about leaving a job and worrying about money, really you're not worried about money. Why are you not worried about money? Tell me your secret, Aquarius. And the Moon then is your extra card, because at the end of the month, the things I just spoke about, the Moon issues in your career, but yet it wanted to pop up to say hello. So let's say hello. And I'm organizing the cards here, Aquarius, and we're going to see what's going on. What's going on? Okay, now if my camera stand won't actually fall apart as I'm trying to move this thing down, bear with me, Aquarius, okay? let's try. Okay, move. Here we go, gently, gently, gently. Yes, it worked, yay! Excuse me. Now the first card there, I said it, the Five of Pentacles. There is a moment at the beginning of April where you're feeling at a loss financially. You're feeling that money is, maybe the money that you have in your bank account is dwindling down. Maybe you had put a bunch of money aside and suddenly you're seeing it going, and you're saying, okay, do I need to panic? Do I need to panic about this? But yet you're not panicking, because as I move on, I'll show you the other cards that say that. You don't, even though, yes, you're worried about your finances, you're not panicking, because there's something, it's like where you get your money involves being in here and you're out here. So perhaps for some of you, there's a division in work or wherever it is that you earn your money. You find yourself on the outside where everybody else is on the inside. So maybe you felt rejected in work, maybe you felt ostracized, or in some way you didn't quite fit in. And you're going to rebalance this, definitely, in April, Aquarius. This situation of you feeling outside while all the good stuff is happening somewhere else, that's going to change. And who's going to change that? Well, this is very often said to be an Aries card. And I mean, the sun is in Aries at the moment, which again is in your third house. And it's this energy, this lovely energy that gets on very well with you, actually, who is inspiring you to think broader, to think bigger, to think that whatever this shit is that you're kind of hoping to leave behind in April, that you could stand on your own 2 feet. You can do this with or without them. You have a new plan, you have a new project, you have a new fire in you to go boldly into your future. Because, I mean, look at this guy. Look at the comparison. This is who you are when you feel left out and rejected in some way, where you're only looking at your financial difficulties. And this is you when you turn your back to that. See the change, the contrast, these poor downtrodden people versus this super, super, super confident guy with a stick in his hand, dressed in his finest. I mean, you don't get to wear those leggings every day on the bus. You know, this is for special occasions. So I do maybe get the feeling for you that you're moving on from a poorly paid job or a job that you were rejected from to step out into something far more interesting and far more beneficial, and certainly something that lights your fire, something that feeds you a little bit. And for those of you, like I said, who are self-employed, there's a moment in April where you're taking your mind out of feeling, poor me, I'm suffering without any money and la da da. You're not a poor me character, Aquarius. So if you find yourself falling into that, oh, poor me, I feel so left outside, forget that and remember that you're an innovator. You are somebody who is forward thinking. Look at him, he's looking to the future and he's confident with his big stick and he's prepared for anything. Whatever, he's saying, look, whatever you throw at me, I'm going to swing this bat and I'm going to throw it 10 times harder back at you. really. I mean, you're confident. This is you, confident, prepared. And sometimes people say, excuse me, that it's immature. And when you have to understand the right meaning of the word immature when it comes to the tarot, it doesn't mean childish. It means unripe, like a fruit on a tree that's only ready to blossom. And that is you. Through April, it seems that something is beginning to blossom, beginning to heal, and beginning to take off. And here we are, the divine hand, the God coming out with his big hand saying, you might have a stick, but just in case, I'm also going to give you a sword. Because just to back you up, I mean, you have one weapon already, that's your own, you keep that, but here's your backup. And it's the sword of truth, it's the sword of new ideas. Anytime we see swords, we're dealing with air element, and air element is taking what is formless, the raw materials of something, and creating something from it. And that's really what's being offered to you, the raw materials that have been shaped into something, and you having the drive and ability to deal with it. And this is a lovely energy. It really is a nice energy for you to be given that moment of creativity and knowing that you can run with it. And also, what else does a sword do? It cuts down anybody who stands in their way. Anybody who is in your way, even God is saying, no, Aquarius, I give you the right to chop them. So that's quite nice too. But you have a new truth and a new group of people that you might be hanging out with or working with or spending a bit of time with. It could even be in love. Because here we have the card, a few meanings. It's the card of deep communication. See, 3, communication, but on a deep level, you're understanding something. You've been given the truth about something. You've become more creative about something. And now you're sharing that idea. And you're brainstorming perhaps with a group of people, and you're coming together to celebrate even the launch of a new idea. Here's the new idea, and here's people with their glass of champagne saying, yay, we've started, the project is beginning. For those of you who are focused on love issues, there is a moment where you'll be celebrating something very nice, possibly with your family. It could be a celebration of an announcement of a birth, of a marriage, or just some positive thing. Could be a birthday. Birthdays in April is Aries and Taurus. I reckon you'll be celebrating in style with them. But look at this. I mean, we can't ignore that this card is quite heavy. It's the card that shows that even though there were difficulties up until now, even though there were hardships, and even though, look at the swords here, the betrayal, you might have found that a lot of people could have betrayed you. A lot of people could have put the knife in your back, literally, which isn't nice, especially for you, because you don't approach people with that energy, and yet that's why it's so surprising when somebody approaches you with that energy. But yet here you are, in April, being given the opportunity to see a new horizon and take the invitation to finally put an end to the things that have been causing you pain. If it has been people or groups of people that have been causing you pain and upset, you finally get a moment to be given this a closure, a moment of closure. So whatever this heavy shit is in your life, Aquarius, you have the invitation now to finish it. And look, once you do, you become the Fool. Don't ever for a moment think that the Fool in tarot means an idiot. It's quite the reverse. The Fool means that you fully grasp everything. And because you understand everything, you're able to treat everything with a sense of humor. You know that moment when you finally cop on to something, when you finally see it and you have that I get it moment and you laugh and you say, was that all it was? Was that what it was about? And your whole body relaxes, your energy relaxes. It's the same energy for you, Aquarius, in April. When you end a situation, when you put closure on something that has been hurting you, or some communication with somebody that has been hurting you, you feel free, you feel liberated, and you feel like the sun is on your back and you're entering April healed without much baggage on your back. I mean, he's only taking with him what he wants to take with him. He's only taking the good stuff with him and leaving behind the rest. And I mean, he's taken his little dog with him, so that's quite cute. But he's not weighed down with heavy baggage. I mean, here's another guy. Look, they're all looking to the future, all looking up. You know, and that's the energy of it. Even these three, they're all looking up. And why wouldn't they look up when you've got the hand of God coming out? I mean, I think if the clouds suddenly opened and the hand of God came down, I think I'd look up too. But that's what you're doing. You're saying the shit is ending. Because you see, look, difficult card, beside it, shit ending, looking to the future with a sense of control and power. Shit ending, beside it, looking to the future, feeling absolutely free. My God, Aquarius, what the heck was going on with you? What was that heaviness? Feeling trapped and betrayed, and an energy that I just don't associate with you, really. I mean, how did it get like that? As my camera is literally just falling down here. Slowly, slowly, my camera is just slipping. I didn't even notice that. Probably, sorry, it's all wonky now, but you have to, I mean, you of all people will understand this energy this month, Aquarius, because this is how Mercury retrograde works. Just everything goes a bit askew when it comes to technology. But let's continue while I'm still standing, even though it's lopsided. The King of Cups. Look, the King of Cups beside the King of Swords. Two kings, two nobles. One who has mastered the ability to transform the shit of their life into something more beautiful, with a better sense of empathy, with a better sense of kindness and fairness, and with a realization that no matter what shit has been thrown at you, that you can get over it, you can master it, and not come out, you know, heavily burdened by more psychological crap. And I think that's what all the heavy emphasis on cleaning out your behavioral loops were. Oh, the camera's just about to fall. Aquarius, I think I'm going to have to move this camera up here because it's just not happening. It's not playing ball. So we'll just look up here. So yeah, all the heavy psychological stuff that you were doing last month, cleaning out the behavioral loops, in April, you really will have mastered it. You'll have come through the other side like the Fool, free, going, ah, I get it. Ah, was that all it was? And you'll have mastered something. Certainly, whatever these issues were, they could have made you a little bit bitter, temporarily. I mean, I wouldn't blame you. It would happen to any of us. But in April, you're saying, baby, I'm not bitter anymore. I'm not bitter. I'm sweet. Really, I'm sweet. Because if I keep the bitterness, all the work I've been doing was a waste. And if I keep the bitterness, it means I'm keeping this. No, when you walk away from that heaviness, you leave all the baggage behind. And because of that, you're sweet. You're sweet and loving. And the bitterness has gone. Can't have Aquarius bitter. You're not bitter. And again, beside the King of Cups, another noble card. You were, at the start of the month, handed the sword. And in no time at all, which should take people a long time, Aquarius, but because you're quick on communications now, in no time at all, you've mastered it. You've mastered how to be an authority in your life creatively, how to see through bullshit in other people so that you never have to end up like this again. It's just this great cleansing, and I'm not surprised. Like I said, Chiron is leaving, after being there for a long period of time, he's leaving Pisces, which can sometimes make all of us feel like we're endlessly suffering, endlessly suffering. And rather than fixing the suffering, we just make little groups together. Are you suffering? I'm suffering too. Let's make a group. In fact, if the world is suffering, let's call ourselves Generation Suffering. So it's sweet. I'm not teasing Pisces. It's just how they operate. But as Chiron, the wounded healer, moves into Aries, which is more suitable for you, you feel, I'm taking control of the shit that has hurt me and the psychological crap I've been carrying, and I'm going to fix myself. Very Aries, taking control, thinking clearly and saying, this is the first moment in a long time where I have control over my own suffering. I can choose to suffer, or I can choose to just rise above it. Be more compassionate in the face of my own suffering and other people's suffering. Have an ability to communicate my suffering, which is also very important for you, Aquarius. Sometimes you might find it quite challenging to communicate exactly how you're suffering. But now in April, it's a new opportunity for you to explain what the hell is going on, because it was quite a lot of deep work you've done. Sometimes that shit can be very hard to explain to yourself first or to anybody else, but you'll get to that point where you'll be the master class in how to explain what it feels like to suffer and heal and fix and be the master of it. Now again, another page card. You have 2 pages. So you have 2 pages and 2 kings. So these are nobles. And why we call them nobles, they're really in alchemy, what happens here is that after you go from the ace to the 10 in cards, you then enter the noble stage, which is the noble part of the alchemical process. So you're ready to become something in its final form. And this, again, he's called immature because he's only beginning. He's only just starting to take a solid form and to become the thing that he's going to become. And what are you going to become? What is this alchemy finally bringing out? What is the nobility, the nobleness of what you're now going to be in April? Well, you're going to become the apprentice, the learner, the one who masters money. What the heck? Aquarius, no, really, I need you to write in the comments what you're doing. You're a mystery to all of us anyway, because you're so forward thinking that we don't get to see what you're doing, but you're doing something with money. You're doing something with some raw material. Perhaps you're doing something on the internet. Some of you I know are very interested in cryptocurrencies. The new coin, that's going to be big next month, by the way, for anyone who is interested in those cryptocurrency things. Uranus is going into Taurus, all about money. Aquarius, we're going to talk about this next month. But anyway, what are you doing? Because you seem to have stumbled upon some idea on how to make money, and you're learning, and you're voracious. It's just you just want to know more about something that's going to bring in the coin. You're learning a new trade or a new skill, perhaps something that the rest of us don't probably understand, but maybe do give us some hint in the comment section, Aquarius. I'd love to know what it is. But some of you could be learning to drive, actually, the apprentice beside the chariot. Could be something as simple as that. But whatever it is you're doing, whatever skill or trade that you've gone back to the beginning to learn how to do, you're sitting beside the card of victory. This is a Cancerian card, so you could be working with a Cancerian, but let's not forget, even though this is a Cancerian card, the person who's sitting in there is Aries, whatever way you want to pronounce it. He's the god of war. And when a god of war gets in his chariot, he's not getting in there to go down to the drive-thru and get a Big Mac and Coke. He's going in to mean business. Do you know what I mean? So whatever you're doing, you mean business. You mean to win. You're in it to win it. And I think you will, because he will be like a shooting star across the sky. You have me intrigued, Aquarius. You really have me intrigued. I have to know what it is. Now, the 4 of Swords, as we come towards the end of the month, After all the communicating, your phone being busy, people wanting to meet you, surprise people, foreign people, people visiting, family or friends could have come from another country and said, oh, can we spend some time with you? Something like that. By the end of the month, you're just like, you're just exhausted, and you'll need a bit of a time out. And take that time out. I always say to people, everybody's in a rush to get things done. And what they don't realize is that in order to succeed, you've got to recognize that you need times of rest, times to relax, so that when the next wave comes, you're in your full strength. Those who don't relax, when the next wave comes, the wave comes and pulls them under. So relax at the end of the month and take time to make long-term plans, because that's what he's doing. He's not just lying on his bed. He's lying on his bed in deep thought, and he's saying, what can inspire me? Where can I go? What are my plans? So he's thinking. Some of you at the end of the month literally could be losing a little bit of sleep, that you're awake all night going, what next, what next, what next, what next? So do take more time to actively relax. In fact, even though that seems like a waste of time to some of you, it's probably one of the most important things you can do at the end of this month. Really, you'll understand why later. Look at this. The hand of God coming out and offering you the coin. The pennies are falling from heaven. The coin is dropping. Aquarius, I'm fascinated. I'm fascinated to know what the heck you're at. Because whatever project you're going into, whatever it is you're learning, you have success, 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 success. And it's not only, oh, I think it'll be successful. It's the divine hand of God coming out and saying, oh no, you've earned this. You've worked for this. You've done something that needs to be rewarded. A reward is coming your way. You'll be recognized for something. Perhaps the difficult situation you've been in, where everybody else behaved very badly, you didn't. And perhaps you'll be rewarded for that in some way. But either way, we begin the card reading saying you're feeling at a loss, that money isn't working out for you. And at the end, we're dealing with the divine, the hand of God coming out and saying, baby, don't think of loss. Don't think of what you don't have, because you've an infinite supply, because the bank of God, the bank of the skies, the bank of universe is coming out. And it's big, and it has an endless supply of coin, and you'll be endlessly supplied with whatever it is that you need as you travel forward. The last card is the moon. Again, excuse me. The moon can, I did say take a little rest at the end of the month, because the moon can disturb our sleep. It can bring us nightmares. It can bring us troubling situations, troubling people, just things that are troubling. And there's no logical way out of these troubling situations. You've only got to trust, I would say, your gut, but I don't know, so trust something else, because sometimes even our gut can let us down. You've broken so many psychological loops that sometimes when we say trust your gut, what we're actually trusting are ideas that we formed somewhere else along the way. So I don't want you to get into that zone. I would say trust that. Trust in the unexpected. Trust in the weird, trust in the wonderful, trust in the abnormal, trust in the crazy, trust in the zany, trust in whatever it is that seems to have no logic. Disturbing. And it might frighten you, frighten other people. I don't quite know how this is or what it is, but there's something you're working with that could be quite disturbing, but not scary, just unusual rather. Unusual. Doesn't surprise me, Aquarius. And you have to trust in it and go with it. And the full moon there at the very end of the month in your 10th house to do with your career? Yeah, definitely in your career. Something's ending. And it might come as a weird and unusual ending, unexpected, but something is ending. And something is ending for the better, because when it does end, you'll feel like this. You'll feel good. And remember, don't feel like a fool when something ends. Don't feel like a fool. In fact, feel like the fool, like, bitches, you can't touch me. I am now untouchable. That's really the energy. Aquarius, I loved your cards. I really loved them. And they were quite, I was reading them yet couldn't quite understand what it is, because there seems to be something very specific that is on a need-to-know basis. And maybe you can tell me in the comments what they are. In the meantime, if this has been your first time watching my videos, then please do subscribe, like and share, and come back next month. And in the meantime, Aquarius, oh, don't forget, for those of you who haven't yet joined me on Facebook, She Bear Tarot, do join me on Facebook. I have Twitter and Instagram too, because I do add extra content from time to time, and it might be worth it to you to see what the heck extra is happening there. But in the meantime, Aquarius, I love what you're doing. I love the energy, and I love you. I really do. And I'm going to give you a really big kiss for April, for whatever that thing is that you're doing. And an extra kiss for luck. I love you, Aquarius. See you next time. Bye.